Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's BDF44 once again coming at you with another video. No news here, just something in my head I'm thinking about. I don't know if I would need someone who really plays the game of basketball when it comes to stuff like this. I have to admit, and to myself more than anyone else, that my basketball IQ is limited based on the fact that I didn't play certain aspects of the cap that I don't understand. I don't know players like I'd like to. I wasn't particularly good at the game when I did try to play it, so it's not like that's a strength of mine. But I tend to be right about the way I see the game, just as it pertains to certain things that I predict, in spite of that. So in this case, as I envision what I think I'm seeing, I try to share it with you guys with confidence, because I believe what I see often is right, and so I can be confident in that, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I speak as a matter of factly as I do. But I'm not no basketball mind or nothing like that. I'm a student of the game, and I'm continuing to learn. So with that being said, what I think is happening right now, like the beginning stages of it, is shooting, though extremely important, and spacing, though extremely important, is slowly starting to not become the priority anymore. It's slow. It's very subtle. You don't see that everywhere because you still have teams like Utah, Phoenix, and everybody winning, shooting the ball. Teams that do shoot the ball is what I'm trying to say. Continuing to do so, and players that come into the league that can shoot the ball. But what I'm noticing in this draft is you have a lot of players that do everything but shoot the ball well. They do everything that makes the game pop. They make the game work, and they can hit threes, so it's not like they're bad shooters that can't improve. But you don't have guys that are just specialists shooting the ball. You only have a few of those guys coming in the draft this year. Now, I pay attention to LeBron James in what he's doing and how he's doing, how he views the game as it pertains to the way that the teams are built. I look at Rob Pelinka as someone who's facilitating LeBron James's vision, or helping him accompany with imagining that vision. But I definitely think this is a LeBron James contraption, is what we're seeing. Every time they put the team together, I think that he's surveying the landscape as he does, and then he's trying to figure out how best to attack it. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just how I envision excellence working. Somebody that great, somebody that has this type of success in the league, that's how they operate. I grew up watching Kobe. I know of Michael Jordan. That's how they operate. So if I'm thinking that's what's happening here and I'm watching us build our team, we have specialist shooters, but they're not the guys that we paid all the money to. They're not the guys that we're building around. If you look at shooters around the league, guys that are being signed right now, shooters are making more money than a lot of other guys. But you're seeing what I think I'm seeing is a less emphasis placed on shooting being the number one thing that your team does. That's what I'm trying to express to you guys. I don't see shooting, I'll try to wipe this off a little bit because it's kind of blurry. I don't see shooting as what everybody's trying to, like, for example, the Dallas Mavericks back in the day, they built their whole team around being able to shoot the three. The Golden State Warriors, their whole dynasty has been built around being able to shoot the three. I remember I often reference the Orlando Magic when Dwight was there. They had him in the paint, but the whole team was basically three-point shooters. They built their team around shooting the three. You know what I mean? Guys like Lauri Markkanen drafted a little higher than they would have been because they specialize shooting the three. Even a guy like Duncan Robinson yesterday was paid for 5 years, specialist shooting the three. But the thing is a guy like Duncan Robinson's not going to start for the Heat. He's not starting. You look at all these shooters they pick up, guys like Reggie Bullock. Yes, they sign these guys. But are they the focal point of what they're doing? Look at all the superstars around the league. Do they specialize in threes? With the exception of maybe the guys who have been in the league already? Think about that. Luka Doncic, one of the biggest stars in the world, specialize in three? No. He can shoot it. And he definitely hit the shot. But no one's going to call him a three-point shooter. He's a shot maker and an everything superstar. You know, guy like Cade Cunningham, can he shoot the three? Of course. Is he a specialist in the three-point shot? Jalen Green? No. Mobley? No. Barnes? No. None of the guys that were taken at the top of the draft who are going to be the future of this league specialize in shooting the three ball. The game is changing again, y'all. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm waking up to the idea that the game is changing right before our very eyes. Yeah, we've seen it with the champions, particularly the Bucks and the Lakers, particularly winning the championship without actually shooting the three ball very well. Two of the worst 3-point shooting champions that we've had in this era, obviously. Back to back. I think the trend is starting to be that, yes, shooting and spacing is of epic importance, and it must remain. So your shooters are still going to be important, but you're not building your team around the ability to be able to shoot. Why? Because a lot of times those shooters can't do anything else. The guys that can shoot over 43% from behind the arc, a lot of times those guys can barely dribble. They spend their time growing up, all they really do is shoot. It's the guys that don't specialize in shooting who use the three ball as just an option to create other things for themselves, just like they do with the pass, just like they do with the drive, just like they do. Those combo skill players are where the league is headed. Couple that with length, the Rudy Gobert's, players like that. They don't necessarily have to be able to shoot the three, but they do have to be able to hit free throws, block shots, rebound like crazy, and just be taller and longer than everybody else. Those guys are always going to be necessary, no matter what era it is. But when you're talking about just like where the league has been, 3-point shooting everywhere, until right now. Because what teams found out is when you surround yourself with nothing but them shooters, most of those guys can't keep your offense going. Now you need those combo guys to make the basketball actually happen out there. If you know what I mean. Picture it like this. You got a bunch of guys on the floor, and the only ones that are on the floor are guys that create shots for themselves. Can't win like that at all. I don't care how good those shooters are. If everybody is every man for themselves, and as soon as anyone gets the ball, they're immediately thinking, I'm going to take a shot for myself, there's no ball movement. If nobody's being able to break somebody down and being able to dribble and penetrate and blow past their man, defenses are staying home on all these shooters. Shooters can't move. If they can't dribble, they can't do other things, then they're essentially not even able to shoot. You can set a couple screens for these guys, but they're not going to be as effective until they get those combo guys, until they get those long, weird body defenders to make them as effective as they need to be. It's like the complete opposite of what Ben Simmons is. A Ben Simmons guy can only pass. If he's not passing, he's not really helpful. He could drive at the basket, but he needs those shooters. So they do need one another. Can't just have a bunch of guys that are playmakers without the shooters. Otherwise, the defense collapses on them. But what I'm saying to you, the idea that you can build your whole team around nothing but shooting, that's gone. You need shooters in specific spots on your team. And you value them as such. But those guys ain't starting. Those guys aren't the guys that are going to be getting the bulk of the minutes. They're not going to be the ones with the ball in their hands most of the time. They're going to sit out there and they're going to shoot the ball when it's time for them to shoot. If they can play some defense, they'll be down there for that. And after that, they're sitting down. With respect to these guys, these Reggie Bullock guys, guys like that, they're not going to be asked to do more than what they do. Shoot the ball. But if you put a team full of those guys out there, what the league has found out is that you don't have real basketball down there. It's not real cohesive play. Look, Chicago Bulls, you look at the Clippers before they got Rondo, they were able to make plays here and there, but they had no facilitator. And as a result, they weren't able to get the most out of their team, no matter how much talent they had. There was no combo guy down there to make everything make sense. No Chris Paul down there to get everybody the ball. No real way to have a cohesive offense. Just a bunch of weapons, a bunch of shooters. So the league is changing. Now the emphasis is we don't need all these damn 3-point shooters. We need a bunch of combo guys who are capable of hitting threes. Because if you have a bunch of dudes that can do all kinds of stuff, then the 3-point shot isn't as necessary because you're driving at the basket, using your athleticism to do all types of things, mid-range stuff that people can do when you're really talented. You don't have to be worried about how your offense is supposed to function. You don't have boring basketball where guys are just fumbling the ball, turning it over left and right. Can't watch it. It's hard to watch because guys just come down jacking up a bad shot and go down the other way. No more of that. Because everybody can do everything. But because they've been practicing everything, they don't specialize at three-point shooting. Unless they just have a God-given gift to do so, as to which they're going to make $207 million. But I'm talking about just your average pro. At this stage, we're looking for combo guys and extreme body metrics. If you're just a straight up and down shooter, there's a place for you. But you better be damn good at what you do. And you should be able to do other things. Because going forward, if all you can do is shoot, you're going to be overseas. That's not where the league is headed. That's the truth. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching.